A dying boy whispered something moments before his last breath. For mysterious lines that glow, a world-renowned cancer doctor, haunted by dreams, shadows whispering in the dark. Monitors glitch, lights flicker, and a mysterious phrase begins to follow her everywhere. Surah Ikhlas. Just 4 lines, but enough to pierce the veil of doubt and reveal a hidden truth. This isn't fiction. This is the true, terrifying, and miraculous journey of a doctor who tried to heal others, only to be healed by the Qur'an. If you think one verse can't change a life, you haven't heard this story yet. Watch till the end to witness the moment her heart uttered the Shahida, and how Surah Ikhlas lit the path to her salvation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Deeninminute, where hearts find their way home. She was a top cancer doctor, but 4 lines from the Quran changed her life forever. True story. The wind was unnaturally cold that day in Edinburgh. Dr. Eliza Raymond, a respected oncologist in her late 40s, stood motionless by the 3rd-floor window of Royal Infirmary. Her arms were crossed tightly, though not from the cold. It was grief. Another young patient had just succumbed to leukemia, a 9-year-old boy named Alex. His parents had pleaded, cried, and even blamed her in the end, but Dr. Eliza had long grown used to those desperate emotions. It was her job to wrestle with death daily. But something about Alex lingered with her. His final words whispered into the crook of his mother's arm, eyes fixed on the ceiling. He said, "Say the surah, the one with only 4 lines, the one that glows." His mother sobbed. Eliza had nodded blankly, unaware of what the boy had meant. But deep inside her, something flickered, like a forgotten ember suddenly sparked. Later that night, sleep escaped her. She kept hearing the boy's voice in her head. The one that glows. She didn't believe in supernatural things, let alone any religion. Raised in a staunchly secular academic family, science was her scripture and evidence her prophet. But still, the phrase clawed at her mind. The next day, curiosity took root. She asked one of the junior nurses, a quiet Pakistani woman named Miriam, what the boy could have meant. Miriam's eyes widened. I think he was talking about Surah Ikhlas." Surah what? It's a short chapter from the Quran. 4 lines. Many Muslims recite it for protection, healing, peace. Children are taught to memorize it early. Maybe his parents used to say it with him. Does it say anything about glowing? Miriam looked thoughtful. Not literally, but some say the light of Tawheed, the oneness of God, shines through it. Eliza didn't know why, but her heart skipped a beat. Later that week, she found herself alone in her office, staring at a screen, searching Surah Ikhlas translation. Say, He is Allah, the One. Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets, nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. The words were simple, almost stark, but as she read them again and again, a strange quietness entered her. She didn't understand how, but the rhythm of the words felt like medicine, not for the body, but for something deeper, something she didn't know needed healing. That night, her dreams changed. She found herself in an endless corridor made of bone-white walls and black shadows. At the far end, a door glowed faintly. She moved toward it, her feet heavy, the silence deafening. When she reached the door, a voice whispered from the other side, not menacing but ancient, echoing, powerful. Say, He is Allah, the One. She woke up gasping. The next morning, the fatigue clung to her like fog. Her face in the mirror looked aged, worn down by something unseen. Still, she carried on. Over the next week, things turned strange. Her patient monitor screens started flickering randomly, especially when she walked into the room. Once the ECG machine of a terminally ill woman began drawing perfect vertical lines. No heartbeat, yet the woman was very much alive. In fact, she claimed to have seen a man in white whisper something into her ear and felt suddenly at peace. Did he say anything? Eliza asked, trying to hide her shaken voice. The woman nodded. He said, Say the 4. Say the truth. He is one. The words made Eliza's skin crawl. Again with the 4. Again with the 1. One day, Unable to resist the compulsion growing inside her, she approached Miriam again. "Can you recite that surah to me?" Miriam hesitated. "You want to listen to Surah Ikhlas?" Eliza nodded, her lips tight. Miriam retrieved her phone, opened an app, and pressed play. As the soft, melodic Arabic poured into the room, something shifted in the air. The lights dimmed slightly. A breeze, not from any window, rustled a stack of papers on Eliza's desk. She blinked. "Did you feel that?" Miriam looked confused. "Feel what?" The air moved. "I didn't feel anything, doctor." But Eliza felt it again that night, and again the night after. Whispers in the corridor, shadows that shifted, and always the soft echo. Is Allah the one? Then came the horror. One late evening, as she reviewed her case files, her office door creaked open on its own. She looked up, thinking it was a janitor or night nurse. But no one stood there. Instead, on the window pane, fogged with the cold night air, for lines appeared, written by no hand, but clearly visible. He is Allah, the one. Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is born, nor is there to him any equivalent. She screamed. But when security came minutes later, there was nothing on the glass. Just her, shivering. In the following days, the line between reality and something else began to blur. Every patient who mentioned prayer, Qur'an, or Tawheed would mysteriously recover faster than expected. One terminal cancer patient, a reclusive Moroccan man, insisted that the surah had healed him. "I recited it 100 times, he said, gripping her hand, "and the angel came to me. He said my soul had been delayed for you." "For me?" "Yes." He said, "Guide her, for she is close to the light, but chained by doubt." Eliza had never been a woman prone to tears, but she wept that night. Not out of fear, not entirely, but because something inside her, the hardened core built from years of clinical detachment, had cracked. Soon, she found herself sitting in a mosque, alone, uncertain. An imam approached, kind-eyed, soft-spoken. She didn't know what to say. "I don't know if I belong here," she whispered. He smiled. "You're already here. That's half the journey. I've been hearing this surah, feeling it. It follows me." He nodded slowly. "Many have been guided by Ikhlas. Its purity is unmatched, is the essence of Tawheed. The soul recognizes its truth before the mind understands." She finally asked the question she'd feared for weeks. "Am I going mad?" He answered gently, "No, you're being awakened." Days passed, then weeks. The horror faded, but something deeper replaced it, a trembling awe. One night, unable to resist the pull, she stood before her mirror, raised her hands, and said softly, "Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah." She became a Muslim in her apartment, alone, save for the presence she could not see, but always felt. From that moment, the world changed. She walked through the same hospital corridors, but now, light followed her. She began each day with Bismillah and whispered Surah Ikhlas before entering any patient's room. Once a dying atheist patient asked, "What gives you peace, doc?" She smiled for lines. "Just 4. He asked her to recite them. She did. He died with a strange, small smile. Then came the miracle. Her research team found a new treatment pathway for pancreatic cancer, one she'd glimpsed in a dream weeks earlier, where a man in white stood under a sky filled with calligraphy, whispering, "The key lies in unity, just like your surah." The treatment worked in clinical trials. Eliza gave credit in the published paper to a divine spark of inspiration. It raised eyebrows, but she didn't care. She now kept a Quran on her desk. Surah Ikhlas was bookmarked, worn with fingerprints and prayers. Years later, during a conference in Cairo, she shared her story publicly. The hall was silent as she told of the whispers, the lights, the miracles, and the horror that led to truth. "I was a woman of science," she concluded, "but it was 4 lines, 4 divine lines, that diagnosed the disease in my soul and gave me the only real cure." When she sat down, a young woman from the audience approached her in tears. "I've been hearing those lines in my dreams too," she whispered. Eliza smiled and gently recited, Kol huwa Allahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalad wa lam yulad, wa lam yakin lahu kufuwan ahad. The girl fell to her knees, sobbing, and thus the whisper of Ikhlas continued, moving from soul to soul, unseen like the wind that first carried it to a grieving doctor's heart.